Hi, Jordan here with the Women's Center. Today we're going to talk about a buyer's guide for preparing to buy a computer or a laptop or a tablet. Just get some ideas about what to expect and what you should look for and things like that. I have some questions here that you should think about as you're going through the process and planning to buy a computer. The first one here, what do I need my computer, a laptop, or a tablet for? So this is kind of in the same thread as what kind of user are you? Do you plan on playing a lot of games? Do you like to edit videos? Or are you more of a basic user, you do word processing, you do computers, you have photos and music and data storage and things like that. And this is going to be important when you start assessing the capabilities of different computers and what you think you'll need in order to do what you want to do with your computer. The next question, what is my budget? This is an important question, and you have to make sure you factor in all the different things that you need to use in a computer. You'll need to think about if you need to buy a monitor, if you're buying just a case with all the hardware. Do you need a keyboard? Do you need a mouse? Do you have a printer? Are you going to need to buy the Office suite for Microsoft Word and things like that? Or do you need the Adobe Creative Suite? Those are things to keep in mind, and you also need to factor those into your budget. Another thing that's down here is a warranty. I would budget for an extended warranty for at least the first year, but preferably up to the first 2 years. These are when you're going to encounter some different problems. And even if you get a computer and then after a month you start to have problems with it, that's when you're going to want to have your warranty. Those are things to keep in mind. And this question is important too. What makes a computer expensive? And this is where you can kind of get taken advantage of if you don't know what you're looking for. They're called the computer specs or computer specifications, and that tells you what your computer is capable or what different computers are capable of. These things listed down here, these are what usually are factored into the price of a computer. The first one here, processing power, this refers to the type and power of the processor that's in the laptop, desktop, or tablet. A standard processor usually is a dual-core processor, which only has 2 cores. But as you start to get more expensive, you can have a quad-core processor or a 6-core or an octa-core processor. And the higher the processing power, the more expensive the computer is going to get. And the next one here, memory, this is kind of the same trend here. As you get more memory, both long-term memory and short-term memory, your computer is going to be more expensive. A standard laptop can have as little as 4 gigs of hard drive data storage, but then can go up to about 16, and there will be a range of prices associated with that. Desktop computers usually come with about 8 gigs out of the box, but can also go up to 6 gigs, but also to a terabyte, which is becoming more and more standard as data storage is becoming more relevant. And just to give you an idea, a gigabyte is 1 billion bytes of data. So just to kind of orient yourself to what that means. Another thing that factors into what makes a computer expensive is graphics. A lot of standard laptops and computers have integrated graphics, which means they don't have any graphics that are separate from the motherboard and that are processed through the processor. It's going to start becoming more expensive as if you have a GeForce graphics card, that's another piece of hardware that's in that you're going to have to pay for that increases the price. HD graphics are becoming more standard for a lot of computers and laptops, so that's not as much of a factor as what the price is going to be. But this is important to consider if you're one of the people who maybe you're a graphics design major and you edit photos a lot, or you edit videos, maybe you run Photoshop or InDesign, anything like that, you're going to want graphics that can handle those programs. And you'll also want a good processor for programs like that too. The last one here is design or weight, and for laptops, usually the lighter is more expensive. And the design part comes in mostly for like when you start comparing Apple's and Microsoft machines. Apple kind of has that designer's edge that a lot of people like, and their brand is they have that sleek look, so a lot of people will actually buy up for that design. So that's something to keep in mind if that's important to you. And again, warranties, that's something you want to consider when you're thinking about your price. We're going to go now here to talking about where you can go and what different resources you can go to start researching and comparing computers, because I think this is an important part into the process of buying a computer. You'll want to do a lot of research before you just jump into buying a computer. That's usually the smartest way to go, is think about what you need, what are your options, what different computers are available. You know, is it an Apple or is it a Microsoft machine? What do you want? And what kind of operating system do you want? And that's important because Microsoft machines only run Windows, whereas Apple's only run the OS X and equivalent sort of operating systems. And you can go and talk to sales associates at these different places. Usually they'll try and sell you, but oftentimes there are people who know quite a bit about computers, and they'll be able to help you and give you an idea too about your own needs. Best Buy, Staples, Office Max, and Office Depot. Walmart even sells computers, though you have to keep in mind if you're going to a place like Walmart, there may not be someone who knows what the intimate details of the computer are, but you never know. You just have to keep that in mind and assess the situation as you come to it. The Apple Store, that's where you're going to want to go if you want an Apple machine. They're the only ones that actually sell Apples, so that's where you'll have to go. And a lot of people get nervous about going online to make big purchases like computers and things like that, but these two sites, Amazon.com and Newegg.com, these sites are actually really reliable, great customer service, reputations. I personally bought computer parts through Newegg, and it was fine. They put a lot of protection in their boxes, and it's usually, it comes on time and it's no problem. So those are all the different things. You'll want to think about timing of buying computers. That comes into play and is important too. Over holidays, Black Friday, Christmas even, back to school. A lot of manufacturers are trying to sell their out-of-date models for cheaper. So if you don't mind having a computer that's a year, 6 months, even a few months older as far as the model goes, then that should be good for you. Also keep in mind sales, coupons, Retail Me Not is a good place to go and see if there's any deals that are available. But I just think just give it all the care and attention it needs. Buying a computer is an important thing that requires some thought, and it depends on if you're going to be satisfied too. You want to buy something that you'll want and like. So I think that's everything. But come by the Women's Center. We're always there, available for tutoring. We also have Women's Center workshops on different computer issues, if you're a basic computer user, even web design, things like that. So I hope you'll come see us. Thanks.